From lucid dreaming to violent sleepwalking, today we look at 14 facts about dreams. Number 14. Years spent dreaming. Since the average person sleeps between 6 and 8 hours per night, it's safe to conclude that you spend about a quarter of your life dreaming. While this is easy to deduce, it's not so easy to really wrap your head around it. To put it in perspective, someone created a tool which breaks down the amount of time and shows what it means in comparison to other things. For instance, by the time you reach 20 years old, you will have slept about 8 years of your life. This is equivalent to 73,242 hours. During that time, about 92 hours were spent dreaming about money, 732 hours were spent dreaming about sex, and 1,831 hours were spent dreaming about happiness. Your body could have burned over 5 million calories during that time, which is equivalent to about 10,000 Big Macs. Number 13. Frozen in place. We've probably all had nightmares where we can't move a muscle. Frozen in place, anxiety washes over you as you try to desperately break free from the grasp of whatever has you. When you jerk awake, and the anxiety fades as you realize that you were only dreaming. But what would you do if you woke up to find that you still couldn't move? This terrifying prospect does happen, and it's called sleep paralysis. Although the sole cause has not yet been discovered, theories range from neural functions which control sleep being out of balance to disturbance of a person's regular sleep patterns. Whatever the cause, some people experience it sporadically, whereas in some cases, sleep paralysis is a persistent condition requiring therapy and medication to alleviate. Number 12. Sleep killing? Perhaps the opposite of sleep paralysis is sleepwalking. Although this condition is often, and little too often, used as a plot device in movies and television, it really does happen. And sometimes truth is a little scarier than fiction. People have been known to do all sorts of things while they sleep, from getting up and scaring the crap out of other people in the house to walking downstairs every night for a snack, and only noticing it when they start to put weight on, to truly scary stuff. In 1987, a man named Kenneth Parks got up in the middle of the night, went to his car, drove 14 miles and murdered his wife's parents, all while asleep. This was a landmark case because it proved that things like this can in fact happen while sleepwalking. It's terrifying, but it was an amazing discovery which forwarded advancement of sleepwalking knowledge a great deal. Number 11. Already gone. It's no secret that we tend to forget our dreams pretty quickly after waking up. You might have the most vivid dream experience while you are dreaming itself, but within 5 to 10 minutes after waking up and getting out of bed, the dream is gone. Some people combat this by writing their dreams down the moment they wake up. Keeping their diaries is a pretty common technique to ensure that the details are not forgotten. However, forgetting dreams seems to be just something that humans tend to do. Dream researchers today attribute this forgetfulness upon waking to the absence of a hormone called norepinephrine in the cerebral cortex, the region of the brain which plays the biggest part in memory, thought, and consciousness. Number 10. Blind eye. Have you ever thought about what it must be like to be blind? Imagine if you had never had the ability to see. Would you be able to imagine what it would be like to see the world? Probably not, right? Contrary to what many people think, being blind isn't the same as just closing your eyes. It's actually a lot more like how you can see out of the back of your head. Namely, you can't. You don't see the blackness back there, you just don't see anything at all. But if you were completely blind and had been since birth, would you be able to dream? Your knee-jerk reaction might be to assume that no, the blind don't dream. This actually isn't true though. The blind do dream, and many of them have dreams which are more vivid in many aspects than those that are sight-enabled. For instance, many blind people report tasting things when they dream and feeling touch sensations. On the other hand, however, blind people seem to report having nightmares more often than their sight-enabled peers. Number 9. Coming online. The expression, sleeping like a baby, is a pretty common way to impart that someone is really getting their rest. But are babies really sleeping like a baby when they're conked out? Are they having deep, restful sleep sensations, complete with dreams? As it turns out, babies do dream, but not exactly in the same way that they do in later life. Humans of all ages tend to dream about what they know, so researchers do believe that babies tend to dream about things that they encounter in real life. Animals, their parents and siblings, etc. But babies don't have the same kind of plot line to their dreams that we have in later life. This is largely because you only start to acquire a sense of self around the age of 5 to 7. So babies mostly dream about things, not linear events with beginnings, middles, and ends. Number 8. Everyone, every night. Have you ever met someone who claims that they just don't dream? We probably all have at some stage. That person who insists that they only rarely dream, or maybe even don't dream at all. Well, they actually might be wrong about that. Research shows that everyone dreams every night. For the people who claim that they don't dream, it may be that they simply forgot their dreams the minute they woke up, leading to the impression that they didn't have a single dream at all. In one study of 289 patients who suffer from rapid eye movement or REM sleep disorders, several claim that they had either never experienced a single dream in their life or had not experienced a dream in a significant amount of time. However, when observed sleeping, all of these patients exhibited behavior which would indicate that they were in fact dreaming. Number 7. It's black and white. Some people dream in extremely vivid and almost hallucinogenic detail and color. Others, most of us in fact, dream in tones similar to everyday life. New research shows, however, that some people among us actually dream solely in black and white. The study shows that people 25 years of age and younger very rarely report dreaming in black and white, while people 55 years of age and older are far more common to report this phenomenon. The cause? It's surprisingly simple and almost funny. The people who are 55 and older had a high exposure to black and white television broadcasts throughout their life. Number 6. Not just humans. If you've ever watched a dog or cat kicking its feet or wagging its tail while it's taking a nap, it's pretty easy to conclude that the little guy is dreaming. But do animals really dream after all? If so, what do they dream about? As it turns out, virtually all mammals dream. Dreaming, as we know, is a byproduct of rapid eye movement, the stage of sleep where people get the most rest. Since all mammals are closely related on a genetic level, pretty much all of them have these REM cycles. The end result is that most mammals do in fact dream. But what is Fido dreaming about, you ask? Well, recent research by an MIT graduate shows that many animals have dreams as complex and detailed as our own. Specifically observing the brain activity of sleeping rats showed the same centers of the brain which engage while running are also engaged while sleeping. Number 5. In control. Many people feel helpless while they dream. This is especially true during nightmares. When you're in the grip of terror in a dream, it's easy to feel like you don't have any control over what's happening to you. But some people can do what's called lucid dreaming, where they're in full control over their dream. Think about this, as if you were playing a video game with all of the cheat codes on. You'd have the ability to do whatever you please. The good news is that just about anyone can learn lucid dreaming with a little bit of effort and practice. In fact, there are whole communities built around the idea of teaching you how to do it. The first step is usually keeping a dream journal so that you get in the habit of remembering your dreams. Number 4. Getting anxious. Humans tend to be tangled bundles of emotion, barely functioning throughout the day unless they focus on the task at hand and don't let their emotions take control. At night, however, our emotional selves take control and we're at the mercy of whatever thoughts and emotions we've been bottling up throughout our lives. Happy people tend to have better dreams and less nightmares, but the fact remains that all of us experience anxiety about things on a fairly regular basis. The result is that anxiety is the most common emotion felt while dreaming. And because negative emotions are more common than positive ones, most dreams are not what you would call pleasant. That said, we tend to forget these dreams faster, and really good dreams tend to stick in our memories a little longer. Number 3. Violent fantasies. Although we push for gender equality in our everyday lives, the fact remains that men and women are different, physiologically as well as mentally. While neither gender is inherently better or worse than the other, there are differences which the medical community does have to take note of. When it comes to dreaming, men tend to dream differently than women. For instance, men are far more likely to have dreams which involve physical violence, anger, and aggression. While the direct cause of this is not yet known, many researchers actually believe that this could be a result of the society we live in, as opposed to a physical difference between men and women. Number 2. Anything is possible. Have you ever had a dream which later seemed to come true? If so, you're not alone. As many as 38% of people have reported having at least one dream which seems to predict the future at some point in their lives. And as many as 18% of these people report having those dreams fairly regularly. Now, whether these people are actually experiencing visions of the future, or else later remembering their dreams in such a way that the events seem to have been predicted by their dream is unknown. But it's an interesting thing to consider. Many people have also experienced strong sensations of déjà vu, which they attribute to dreams they've had previously. Number 1. Eureka moment. Many of us have solved the problem which we were experiencing in real life while dreaming. If you go to bed with something on your mind, it stands to reason that you might dream about it. When that happens, your brain explores different ways events might unfold, and sometimes you come across the solution which will actually work in the real world. What is less common, however, is actually changing your life as a result of a dream. Even less common still is changing the world. It does happen, though. And some very famous people have had their big idea or break as a result of a dream. For instance, Larry Page, the co-founder of Google, came up with the idea for ranking web pages by the number and quality of incoming links in a dream.